Hey everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. I have now been married for 4 months, so I thought, why not say, let's do a Not So Legal love episode, otherwise known as, welcome to the Not So Legal
love episode.
Now, I realize a lot of people, when they hear the word love, the word attorney doesn't exactly spring to mind. So don't worry, this isn't gonna be some, ho-hum, divorce episode. I'm gonna be talking about wedding planning, relationship tips. Someone even wrote in a relationship question to me, so I'll answer that too. I also have the best hip hop lyrics, so stay tuned for the Not So Legal Show. Hey everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. I'm Stephanie Cohen. Today I did a call with a girlfriend of mine who's been planning her wedding for 7 months, which reminded me of all the good old times my husband and I had when we were planning our wedding. One thing that you have to remember is to look at all the agreements that are sent to you during this process. Now, a lot of people just count on their wedding planner, the wedding planner sends it to them, they sign off. Don't do that. You should read the agreements and really pay attention to the deposit and refund policy. Now, of course, that probably seems like something that's an obvious thing, but you'd be surprised how easy it is to overlook it and just sign yourself up for having to pay $10,000 the minute you sign the agreement. I highly recommend that you always negotiate these provisions, because why should someone hold on to $10,000 of your dollars when you can just extend out the time? The other thing you want to do is always ask for approvals over everything. Especially with videographers, you always want to ask for approvals because no one wants to be locked into their wedding video. I mean, let's say they put in like 10 whole minutes of like one person that you didn't even really want to invite, but you had to, and you have to watch them dance all night. You want to be able to look at one rough cut just to make sure it's really the product that you wanted. Relationships. Now, I decided to Google, as my sister and I say, yes, I Googled relationships and law because I was just curious to see what was going to come up. And I came across this article on askmen.com about relationship laws that should be put into place. Curious if any of you out there have relationship laws, because please write in and tell me about it. One of the things on this list was about how you should make sure that the relationship doesn't stay too high maintenance. I don't really know what that means. Like, I can't ask to go to a good restaurant, because that relationship law would not make it on my list. Of course, when you think of relationship laws, most people think about prenuptial agreements, and the question is, are these good, are these bad? Okay, so pros for a prenuptial agreement. Clearly, it protects you, and maybe if something happens and you don't really just want to hand it over, then a prenuptial agreement can protect that, because essentially it keeps your, separate property separate prior to becoming married. However, cons to that is, what about love? I feel like a prenuptial agreement just sort of lends itself to this idea of, here's what's gonna happen when we split up. Now, I do believe, again, that if you are on your second marriage, or you have children, or you have some huge inheritance, that possibly in that scenario, it's a better thing. But again, con, I really do think that it's a commitment, and the purpose of a commitment is so everybody knows, I don't care if you start with a penny or $1 million, I love you, I wanna be with you, and this is about commitment, and I'm sticking with it, and I don't need an agreement for later on to figure out what's gonna happen if it all ends. Now it's time for
Not So Legal Advice!
So Karen wrote into me, and she said her boyfriend Tom promised her that they would live together for 5 years. Now, first of all, Karen, 5 years is a long time. I hope he planned on proposing before the 5 years were up. However, based on your letter, it sounds like things are not going so well. So it's been living with him for 2 years, and now he decides he doesn't want to live there anymore, and he's not going to pay the rent, and now what should you do? I asked about whether or not you had a lease agreement, which you also mentioned that you were the only person on the lease. So again, now what should you do? So here's the deal on this one. You probably could take him to small claims court and try to get at least 1 month's rent. Now, it would be great to be able to get more than that, but there's a little bit of an argument here that technically, let's say you're on a month-to-month tenancy at your apartment complex, that you could essentially give them 30 days notice. So your boyfriend could kind of give you 30 days notice, pay the last month of rent, and move out. The real thing here is end it with this guy, get a new place, and start anew. Now it's time for this week's best hip hop lyric, except this week I'm changing it up again because instead of a hip hop lyric, I'm going to be focusing on a new group out of Queens, New York. Now these guys reached out to me on Facebook and they're called RSNY. The link is below, and they have this new video they just came out with called What You Drinkin', and you definitely have to check these guys out. Their YouTube page is great, it has all kinds of videos, and I'm hoping that they come to LA because I am definitely going to check out one of their shows. That's it for now. Always remember to honor your power and stay tuned for the next video posting. Now, most of you may think that when your wedding planner, what is up with the sound and the fizziness? You think, no, I mean, how can you not hear it? It's like silence on the set. Just kidding. I wanted to trick you. Okay.